Okay, welcome back to Donja Knife and Tool. Today we have the Kizer Mini October. Now, also once again, this is a discontinued Kizer. I don't know how I get lucky enough to keep finding all these like this, but if you look, you will find. That is for sure. Now, as I've already said a few times, I'm a big fan of Kizer products, and once again they knocked it out of the park with the blade steel. This is 154 cm. Alright, this is the October Mini. Okay, it's a small knife. Alright. Stonewash blade, green G10, steel honor. Same as every other Kizer. They all have steel honors, they'll have some really nice scales, really nice jimping. Seems almost micro jimping as the knife we went over last time, which was the Cormorant. Let's take a peek there. Actually, the jimping is way more fine on the Cormorant. It's a little bigger on the Mini October. But this is a small knife, but check it out. This is the way you hold this knife. You actually hold it by the blade. It has a nice finger choil there. You do not get hit with the blade. As on so many knives I've picked up, you cannot use the finger choil. The Cormorant also comes with the same scales as green G10, which is super grippy, but any of their G10 scales are super, super grippy. So I was skeptical at first because of the size of this knife. And if you look down by the overall, it's just over 6 inches. The blade's only about 2.5 right there. But just like all the other Kizer knives, you're pleasantly surprised once you get this thing in your hand, and you can just grip this thing all day long. Is a liner lock with a flipper, and once again, Kizer's amazing flipping action. If I had to say anything at all, it has some jimping on there. I'd like to see this button, the flipper switch, a little bit bigger. I have slipped off it a couple of times, but that's really on me. That's not really the fault of the design of the knife or anybody at Kizer, you know. But I mean, I kind of nail it every time at this point. Let's bring in the reference knife. We can see size differences here. So that's the good old Ozark Trails everybody knows and loves. Cormorant, and then we'll come in with the Mini October. It is a mini knife, as you can see. But beautiful stonewash, very sharp, very slicey blade. I mean, again, Kizer knocks these out of the park, but unfortunately, I found out on Blade HQ it says these are discontinued. I don't think it says anything on Kizer's site. And on Kizer and Blade HQ, they sell for around $64.99 as of today. Now, again, always do your due diligence and always look at a bunch of sites before you buy anything and make your own judgment call for yourself. But I got this, I think it's on Amazon for $40, and I think it was $36 at Walmart.com. And it gets shipped straight from Kizer. So it's just like a third-party clearance, I guess, the way they do that nowadays. You know, I'm not really sure how that all works, but that's what seems to be happening. This is just a really nice, I mean, it's cutting into the board just like by its own weight. It's cutting into this mat right here. You know, so again, it's the 154 cm steel. Great lockup, as always. You know, I don't think you're going to find a bad Kizer. You know, they seem to be way more knife than for the money. The blade steels are always seem to be better than what you're paying for. And you just, the lockups are great, the feel, the finish, the fit and finish. You know, I haven't found a bad Kizer knife yet, so I'm going to keep looking though. I'll keep searching until I find a bad one, and I don't think that's going to happen. So I think that's really the fun of every time I order a new Kizer knife. You know you're going to get something good. You know you're going to be, you know, pleasantly surprised by, you know, the feel of the knife. And again, you know, these are goofy looking at. I must have passed over these hundreds of times in over the last year or so, you know, because they didn't really look to be anything I'd be interested in. But once you get these in your hand, it tells a whole different story. It's a complete different animal once it's in your hand. So I needed to show that with the Cormorant. I don't think I said too, it's one of the only knives I've ever seen that has jimping on the button, which is just a great feature. Just awesome right there. So, well, Kizer, I can't say enough good things about him at this point. You know, even though we did find a failure point on this one, really not the fault of the design of the knife, it's the fault of misuse of the tool. I would categorize that in. So I'm going to say that's on me. Alright, that's it for now. Thank you.